Okay. That's pretty loud, huh? All right. Hey, friends and homies. Sorry about yesterday's stream. I know it ended pretty abruptly, and so if you were watching yesterday, you might have noticed some of my notifications pop up on the iPad as I was working, and I had an uncle who was in the hospital. He's been there for a while, and hospice was coming up when my sister texted me to let me know, and within like 5 minutes he had passed away. I didn't really know how to process that. I mean, at least not live on air, so I kind of cut it short. I apologize, but here we are. I will most likely wind up talking a lot about him tonight. He was an awesome dude. It wasn't painful. He was pretty mature in age, but thought we had a little more time. But that's always the case, I guess. So tonight, a little therapeutic. We're gonna keep at it. I think despite everything else, I think we actually figured out the whole streaming thing. Probably gonna open up Twitch once I feel really confident I've nailed this. We got some more projects coming after this. Feel pretty good. I mean, aside from crushingly sad. No, he had a great sense of humor, so I feel like that's okay. Anyway, today's theme is Beheaded. It's from August. Hey Joe. Thanks, buddy. It is from August. It is Beheaded. So, of course, we are going with a Headless Horseman thing. And when it is done, it will go into this guy. At the end of the month, there's a theme Guardian. That'll be our protagonist. Pro is the good guy, yep. He'll go somewhere in the middle, right around here. We'll fill in the rest of the empty spots with some more bad guys we got. We still have like a week and a half left. Almost 2 weeks, give or take. Might have to do some scaling. But first, let's do him. These lines are kind of dirty. Gonna be fun. Ready? Are you sure? Let's go. If you guys have any questions, or you just want to chit chat, yes, please. There are some aspects of digital stuff that I'll miss when it's time to go back to watercolors. And then there's some stuff I won't miss at all. Like cleaning the screen every time. I could do without that. I have glasses to maintain. So I'll be chatting, but I'm definitely watching. Oh, thanks, buddy. Scooter, you're my favorite. I have learned to take notifications off while I'm streaming, so probably better for everyone involved. I'm actually pretty stoked about this one. I consider Halloween to be the gateway holiday. I love Halloween. Love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. Got a bad feeling about this year, but I love Halloween. The movies, it's hoodie weather, it's the colors, everything. Favorite scary movies, my jam. This is the first official pumpkin of the season. So it's good practice. Because come Inktober, it's going to be sick. Do I want that? No, we'll do that in a different color. Keep that there. Lost that line. You guys want a little secret? Sometimes I draw every day. Every single day. I post it every single day. But sometimes I'll do some drawings in advance. Think about it. I have been doing this every day for almost 5 years. We're coming up on 5 years, right? That means when I got married, I still did art and I posted it. Birthdays, 2 of my children were born in the last 5 years. Vacations, every single day I've had something new to post. Some days, if I have time, I'll do a couple days worth of stuff. I'll do the sketches, I'll do the outlines. When it's watercolor time, I'll do the tracings and stuff, or if I really have time, I'll pencil in everything on the watercolor paper. Today, I knocked out a bunch. But it all depends. If Mrs. Mr. Tom is not working, I can usually get a couple of days worth of stuff out. That way, I can hang out with the kids and do stuff with the familia when she goes to work and stuff. But in the process, sometimes when I'm doing stuff in a couple days in advance, I have to make little notes. because I'll forget. I'll actually forget. Is that the right line? That's the right line. I missed that line altogether. Normally, Wednesday nights, we don't stream because we're watching wrestling with our friends. Safely. On Discord. Discord. But because of the NBA playoffs, we have no wrestling tonight. So we decided to be a little productive. And so far, I don't mind saying the stream looks pretty good. I'm watching on my phone as I go. It's not frozen yet. It's not skipped or done anything weird. I think I finally and actually fixed it. And more so, I understand what I did to fix it. That's a super good feeling. Do you know how much experience I've had streaming aside from this little venture? 0. There it is. 0. I have learned more on YouTube than I did in college. That's not fair. I've learned more everyday useful stuff on YouTube than I have in college. Is that right? That is not right. Yeah, see these? Again, this is the downside of doing a couple of sketches in a day. You forget some lines. Maybe they weren't the best lines when you did them. The quality of stuff definitely goes down when you're mass producing them. Then you fix them. You're missing a thumb, my dude. Should there be? Yeah. That is awkward. I'll fix that. It is hot under these lights. I think that's the number one thing I don't like about streaming so far. Don't like being hot. You know, it's weird. I know I said I turned off notifications on my iPad, but you can definitely still see them come up on the iPad, except instead of like being the actual message, it says notification, which you think you turn off when you type in, or when you turn off notifications, instead of it just literally saying notification like you're a giant dum-dum and you don't know what that is. There it is again. When I was a kid, I remember seeing The Legend of Sleepy Hollow, i.e. the Headless Horseman, but the Disney version of it. So it had Ichabod Crane going through that covered bridge. I think that might have been like the start of my love for horror. I know for sure what movie solidified my love of horror movies, but it was either that or it was Gremlins. Stop. Okay. Gremlins is not. Gremlins finds itself sometimes in the comedy section. I take personal offense to that. My experience with Gremlins, which if you have not seen it, go watch. My experience was, I'm the youngest of three, by far. I think between my brother and I is 7 years, and my sister and I is 10 years. So they're well older than me. And we had a drive-in movie theater. That was like that was our cinema. We were going to the movies, it was there. And it was right up the street, it was awesome. We were there a lot. But my first experience with Gremlins was at a drive-in movie theater. So the screen's gigantic. And I'm watching it with my brother and sister who, their eyes lit up when they knew I was scared. Because it was scary. I was young. And I don't care what you say, Gizmo's kind of creepy looking. Yeah, that was my first foray into horror movies. The drive-thru, man. I'm glad that they're making a comeback now. I love them, despite being terrified of Gremlins because of them. He's gonna have black arms, yeah. I'm super glad they made a comeback. Apparently, in the Midwest, they have always been a thing. And I'm a little jealous of that. Ours, you could sneak in. Well, not sneak in. There was a chain link fence in the back that was kind of overgrown. If you walked up with a little portable AM/FM radio, because that's how you get sound from the movie into your car. The AM/FM radio. Speaking of Mr. Tom.
Am I in the thing?
No. An apple? No. This is your first time seeing the green screen in action?
Yeah. Wait, can it see me? Yeah. Because I'm not wearing green. Wait.
What?
If I put this on, I'll just be a floating head.
Yeah, but maybe not. It's not every color green.
It's pretty close.
Hold on here. Why don't I just turn it?
Oh, yeah.
I feel like I understand.
Okay, all right, sorry.
Go back to my important work. Thank you. Did you need something?
I was just saying hi.
Oh.
I didn't realize you were...
Say hi to all three of my viewers.
Hey, who's there?
I don't know.
Is it Harry?
No, Scooter was here.
Hey, Joe. Oh, am I allowed to say that?
Yeah, yeah. But see, his name comes up. It's obviously him because that's his name. But if like a username comes up and I know them, I try not to say their real name.
That. Do we know who else is there?
I don't.
Who else is there? Reveal yourself.
I don't interrogate the viewers, honey.
Okay. I love you.
I love you too. Meh. Can you send a cat down here?
There's one right there.
Oh, there is?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the cat I want. Good, thank you. We have 2 cats. We have Lord Bertie Taylor, also known as Good Cat. And we have Murder Kitty. Barbara Rocket Murder Kitty. Also named Terrible Kitty. Terrible Kitty hangs out with me. She adopted me. She's not a fan of anyone else. That does not need that. Anyway, she hangs out down here in the shop. If I'm sitting in my rolly chair with a high back, her favorite thing is to jump up on the back of it and I'm not afraid to say it. Scare me. And I think she knows it. I think she understands that if she wanted to kill me, she could have. Yeah, this is... Sitting around drawing is way better than sitting around being sad. I don't like being sad. There will definitely be time for that later. Alright, colors. Let's talk colors. Right. If we're going to stick with the Headless Horseman theme, it's going to be dark. Dark blues, maybe a black, some dark browns, if there's any kind of highlight. But the highlight is definitely going to be the pumpkin head. It's a bright orange, stark contrast to everything. So that is going to be a challenge. I'm not going to texture it like a pumpkin. I'm going to try to make it more metallic than anything. But if I can't do that, then we're just going to texture it. If at the end of this it has kind of a hobgoblin or green goblin kind of pumpkin bomb feel to it, I'd be stoked. Colors? Colors. Alright. Let's go. Alright, darkest part is definitely the main jacket. Lapel should be slightly lighter. Gloves, maybe a dark brown. Yeah. That's one thing I'll miss about digital stuff. Oh, you just need that all colored in real quick. Magic, done. Lapels. You know what? Let's get. I watched a YouTube video today of I watched a lot of art YouTube videos, how-tos, studio walkthroughs, sketchbook tours or whatever. A lot of tutorials because I think even if you know the basics, finding a better way to do some of the basic stuff can be like game changing, or at least provoke some thought into how you do stuff. And I know that when I start flipping through or start watching a sketchbook tour, it's I know I feel bad because I see people's sketchbook and I'm like, man, that's a sketchbook. It looks phenomenal. It makes sense because they're usually phenomenal artists. But I mean, for a sketchbook, it's like, it's great. Most of the stuff in there you could tear out, frame it, there you go, make it print and sell. And this guy's video, man, I wish I could remember what it was. If I can later, I'll link it on the bottom. His thoughts were like, those are people's like show things. They've already worked on those sketches and those things before they put them in their book. And if they didn't work out, usually they're taken out before they're shown. These are like their showy books, you know? And that made sense because I looked through some of my sketchbooks and they are scribbly messes. What I always thought a sketchbook should be. So if you are starting out and you're looking around to see other people's work and like gauge where you are versus somebody else, take that into account because I even get bummed out. I've been doing a lot of work and I'm proud of my stuff, but I get bummed just as easily as anybody else. I don't think I have any showy sketchbooks. I have what he was calling work sketchbooks, which is, you can see that's what those red lines are behind this. All those little notes, the pencils in there, I put them in just to break it up visually. Because when I go to post these on Instagram, it's not like the most exciting thing. And I have not shown the group shots as we've been doing them anywhere else except for here. I'm super excited really excited to show them off. Alright, this guy. I think back here should definitely be a dark blue, and we can do a fade. So if anyone's wondering, I'm working on a new layer, right? It's blank, it doesn't have any black lines on it. If I take the black lines away, you just have the colors that we laid down so far. Turn it back on, we have what in screen printing is called like the trap layer, the black lines that go on last. If you don't have any of those, let's say I go to fill this in by dragging this color over, it just colors in everything. But if you confine it, give it like a box, which is why I've been outlining this stuff first. Watch this. It'll color in that area, right? If I did it in here, let's say I wanted to make this glove blue, it does the same thing, but now on my trap layer I have a color. If you wanted to go through and use some of the filters on your layers, like multiply, you might want just a black line to make like a multiply screen really pop. I say pop. Oops. Sometimes you want to make sure you are working on the right layer too. You know what? I gotta clean this glass off. It's driving me insane. Give me 1 second. Never mind. It's right here. Past Tom was looking out for a future Tom. That's awesome. Good job, me. Oh, yeah. Yeah. If you're binging these and you notice that I'm not wearing my pink glove, A, thank you. B, this is like an old people glove. My hand starts to cramp up after a while. So it's one of those compression things. And they don't make them in pink. And as we all know, real dudes paint with pink gloves. Nope. long have we been at this? 45 minutes. No red flashing errors. Stream still looks good on my phone. I think we did it. Feels good, man. All right. Do you know who else was an artist in my family? You give up? Okay, fine. I'll tell you. My uncle was. He actually went to the University of the Arts, I believe. And he did a lot of landscapes. Something I struggle with. But I never knew that until much, much later in life. I was an adult when I found that out. And he didn't do anything with it. I think he painted for a while, for himself, but he worked for Boeing for 50 years. Was it 40 or 50? It was something insanely long. So, if you work at a place long enough, they get you a pin or a watch or whatever, and his name badge was full decked out. And when he finally retired, he would still go in and have tapioca with the boys. It's brown. Yeah, brown. He certainly was an interesting dude, man. He collected a lot of stuff. Most notably, in my mind, were hats. I'm not saying he had a couple dozen hats. I'm saying he had hundreds, if not thousands of hats. Snapbacks, fitted hats. I saw some sombreros in there. And he'd always just wear anyone. He'd buy it, wear it for a couple days, whatever. And just go put on another one. He'd get them from this dirt mall he used to take me to when I was a kid. Zern's. It's half dirt mall, half Amish market, half animal auction. If you went on Friday, no, if you went on Saturday, it was an animal auction. If you went on Friday, it was an auto auction. And that's where he got the majority of the stuff he collected. Collected silver dollars. What kind of mug it was, or some glass. I think it was greenish glass. It had a name. It was a specific kind of. I forget what it's called. I think he had some Tiffany glass too, but. And he was awesome. He was a little weird, but I think that's why I liked him. When he would take me to the to Zern's, right, the dirt mall, he didn't have any kids. He never got married. He always had lady friends, right? I don't think he had lady friends at the same time, different lady friends at the same time. In case they ever watch this. No, I don't think that was the case. Anyway, he was the first adult who was all right, you want to meet back here whenever? This place was big. It was kind of shady too. Was it shady? It seemed kind of shady when I was a kid, but it's probably all right. I don't know if I would let my kids do it, but we would roll in to the parking lot, and he'd be like, "All right, come find me when it's time to go home." I thought that was so cool. I never wanted to do anything bad and get caught and like lose that privilege. But that was awesome. I think the screen protector stinks. I think I gotta clean it every 30 seconds. Let's see. He and my other uncle, who passed away not too long ago, they lived like down the street from each other. They were awesome. Spent a lot of time there when I was a kid. Is that too much? That's too much. That's better. Is it pumpkin time? I think it's pumpkin time. We need this color. Not that pen. I don't. It's looking pretty flat. Let's fix it. Did we do out of lines? Yes. And we forgot something, guys. Took me longer than I'd like to admit to find the color picker. Alright. Where do we start? I want to save the pumpkin for last. Let's do the metallics first. What do you guys think? Let's do it. Add a little black. Yep. dig it. Let's group them. Let's go here. One thing I don't like is I have to... As soon as I select something to isolate it, it immediately pops me out of my layers window. When almost always I'm going to add another layer. So it's just another stupid little extra step. It's not the worst thing in the world. It's just mildly inconveniencing. Let's go a little darker. And then a little later. Now let's do this. I want to make sure everybody in the series has an element of some metallic stuff. I know some people in the series have some robots have some organic elements to them. I want to make sure everybody has at least a little bit of metallic goodness. Plus, I kind of just figured out how to do it, so I want to show off. This one I don't want to be like specifically metallic. I don't want that. I just want a little bit of a highlight. Let's see if it works. I think it works. Now let's try these guys. Before I cleaned this out, I had so many pallets. This whole thing was filled up. It still feels like a lot, but there was 25 pallets in there. Oh, it felt like 25 or 25. Or 25. It felt like 20 or 25 pallets in here. And it was a little lazy. So I started forcing myself to color pick. So I feel like the only way you're actually going to get better, like for real better, is being honest with yourself. If you can step back from what you're working on and say, yeah, that's exactly what I set out to accomplish, then great. You're being honest with yourself, then that's awesome. And if someone comes along and says, and you ask them for feedback, critique, whatever, and they say, I mean, it's awesome, but take a look at this, or that, or try this. That's how you get better. Be honest with yourself and be open to another person's perspective on it. Doesn't mean they're right. Doesn't mean you're wrong. They might not have, they may not understand what you were trying to accomplish, so their feedback might not be the best for you, but listen to it, take it into account, see if there's any validity to it, being honest with yourself, and work from it. I've actually sat in on critiques that, mind you, people pay good money for critiques. If you have a critique group, which is awesome and a great resource, that you can bounce ideas off each other, show each other your work, sketches or ideas, and you respect their opinion, and that's awesome. I have a couple of those, and they're tremendously helpful. But a professional critique, you go to a seminar, a webinar, whatever, and there's a professional speaking that, and 9 times out of 10 you pay, and they go through your portfolio and they say, overall, this, that, or the other thing. Or if it's only a couple pieces, they'll say, here, this works, but this doesn't. I've seen people argue. Oh, camera's here, not there. Right. Sorry. I've seen people argue with the critiquer, like, oh, I don't think you understand, like, this is what I was trying to do, so I appreciate you saying that. Oh my god. I would never. I don't think I could ever sit through a critique and then have the words come out of my mouth. I appreciate what you're trying to say, but no thank you. I've had some rough critiques. I have. One of the... You want to hear the roughest one? Good, because I'm going to tell you. I went through a critique once. And it was a group critique. So, truth be told, it was 2 critiques in one day. One was the individual portfolio thing, and one was an art director thing. And my portfolio critique was, I guess when I'm looking at a critique or going for one, I expect like some notes on technical stuff. This works, this doesn't, or try this, or look for this, add this, take this one out, whatever. Technical stuff. Not really like, I guess, opinion based, but constructive at least. That is like the bare minimum you should expect from a critique. I sat down and they were like, they flipped through my book and they were like, what piece speaks to you? I don't know how to answer that. I did all this stuff. I spoke for them. I drew them. I put them in there. I panicked and I pointed to a painting I did of Wingsley, my little bat creature. He's my dude. I love him. And she goes, Another 5 minutes of silence. She was like, I like it. And then the next person was there for their critique. That's it. Which piece speaks to you? And I like it. Next, please. Later in the day, we have an art director thing, right? So, this is like a group thing. Everybody in the room had the same assignment. You can put whatever take you want on it. Here's the criteria. Here's what we're looking for. Here's what you should be doing, right? Those are your parameters. Other than that, completely open to interpretation. Be creative, go get it. They get to mine. Mind you, I'm towards the end of the alphabet, so close to 20 other people have gone before me. And the days dragging on, and they were kind of harsh. They were harsher than most of the things I've been to. I think they kind of softball us because, I mean, we're not getting paid for it. We're paying them. This is like homework, really. And it goes up on the screen. I don't get it. That's it. I don't get it. I don't understand. Click. On to the next slide. That was a rough day for me. It was a long, long drive home. If you are a critiquer or you find yourself in a spot where you are asked to critique stuff, open. And I'm critiquing critiques. That's how meta we got. If you find yourself in a spot where someone's asked you to critique for a group of people, you're a professional, whatever, it is super helpful to have even harsh constructive criticism. Well, I don't know how to phrase this. Speaking for myself, I can handle harsh constructive criticism. Bash the color palettes, the line work is too harsh, whatever. I got you. But the approach of, I like it. Next it's not a good look. I appreciate it. I like you too. But I can't take that home and try to improve based on I like it or I don't get it. Pumpkin time. But I will say, okay, because critiques can be a little nerve-wracking. Even now, I've been doing this for, like I said, like 5 years. I still get nervous. I still don't. I feel. Mrs. Mr. Tom will tell you the same thing. There are times where I almost don't go for fear that, not for fear that I won't do well, but fear like I just, what if, you know? Oh, I forgot about this guy. Alright, let's try something bold, huh? As we said, we're going to try to make this guy nope. Follow this. Let's try to make it metallic a little bit. Yeah, see, does it show up? Oh, maybe it doesn't show up. That notification thing I was thought about earlier? Well, now it just seemed crazy. Yeah. Is that too much? Let's find out. We need... Yes, but it needs to be... bit redder just to get away from that glove color, right? Is that enough? Let me see. Maybe a bit darker. Okay. We're getting there. Where are we? Just a bit of texture on this guy. Alright, let's add some drop shadows and this is the hard part, like when you get to going back to working traditionally. The part where you either add another brush stroke and ruin it, or you just let it be. Digitally, you can always just hit undo. Alright. Drop shadow time. I will say this. My drop shadows are... I'm sure that's the right word for them. I use the same color for all the shadows. I'm not going for a realistic effect. If you are watching this to learn how to become a better photorealistic painter, you are on the wrong channel. Highly stylized, I think. Using the same black but lower opacity throughout, I think lends to the metallic feel that all of these guys seem to have. Rather, all I want all of these guys to have. These lines on all their boots, they're like the standard issue giant Japanese robot cartoon lines. I don't know if they have an actual name, but they seem to be pretty common throughout all anime and manga that I could find. I call them high-tech lines. If you're a big giant robot, you should have these high-tech lines. Oop, I missed the spot. Where are you? There you are. Select. Just darken up these bad guys, and I think we're... pretty Dunsky. Give them just a bit of shine. I'm for it. So now what I do, put everything in the same group. I duplicate it. I flatten the one. That means everything we just did, instead of being on, 30 odd layers, smushed down to one. So now if I go to erase if I go to erase a bit, it'll erase all the colors. Yeah. Whereas I preserved one that has all the layers. So if I needed to go back and change something, super duper easy. But as far as transferring, is it only possible? It might only be possible to transfer one layer at a time. Should look into that. It's for sure easier to transfer one layer at a time. And if you have all of your image in one layer, it's super easy. Especially if all you're trying to do is drag it off into a new... Ooh. At least for right now. See, this is the part that nobody else gets to see. Not until we're done. Like at the end of the month, they'll post this guy to show what it's all been about. This is, I think... Well, who did that? This is, I think... gonna be the big deal. Oops. The one problem I'm facing is this is too big. I'm gonna have to scale it down to then scale it back up, because this file taps out at like 27 layers. That I think is the biggest limitation I see in Procreate versus going straight Photoshop. That the layer limitation. I don't think I've ever run into the same problem in Photoshop, but I've run into it plenty here. You guys want to see something else? This is is. This is for something else I'm doing. I don't know if I showed this the other day. I don't know if I posted that one. I think that would have been one of the streams that was really, really struggling. I still have to fix originally. Oop. Is this it? Yeah, this is the original. And like I was saying earlier about having a critique group or a bunch of people you can bounce ideas off of, this was one of them. And they saw some stuff I didn't. To me, the swing set is like the Impossible Machine, where it's supposed to seem like infinite. Am I doing that right? Impossible Machine. My friend has a tattoo of it. Anyway, it's hard for me to visually conceptualize and then put in here. But they're right. The back bar here. The back bar here needs to be pushed back. This maybe needs to come down a little bit or even pushed further than down. And these lines, it is hard to tell who's swinging forward and who's swinging backwards. So I tried to fix that here. It's definitely subtle, and I might need to be a little more aggressive with this one. But this got shorter, pulled this one down a little bit. This line here, I erased, this section, which to me made sense. However, somebody in the group, real quick went into Photoshop and did a rough fix that made sense. So I gotta steal that and do it. Not too hard, but I think this is, for what it's for, I think I'm pretty excited about it. But that's it. That's what we did today. Good job. Beheaded. Tomorrow is tomorrow's theme is, give me a second, I'll find it. Telepathic. Tomorrow's theme is telepathic. I have some rough sketches done, but I don't know how you make a machine telepathic, but it'll be fun to find out. I'm going to go write the story for this guy so I can post tomorrow, but thanks for hanging out. Sorry again for yesterday. But on an unrelated but good note, it looks like the stream is fixed. I appreciate you hanging in there and helping me. Till then, stay safe and thank you. I'll work on the sign off. How about that?